Welcome everybody to Wall Street Reporter's Investors Discovery Day live stream. We're bringing you a new company today, a debut from Nass Valley Gateway. The CEO, Michael Semler. He's brand new, the brand new CEO. Michael, welcome.
Thank you. Great to be here. Thanks for having us.
Michael, thank you for joining. And for anybody that's new to our program, our goal is to bring you those stocks which have that 10x to 100x upside potential. And these are companies that are doing three things. One, going after multi-billion-dollar market opportunities. They're at a key inflection point, and they have multiple catalysts in place that could unleash that shareholder value. And we've had some tremendous success, as anybody following our program for the last 18 months or so here on YouTube and other platforms. We've had I don't know, probably a dozen stocks that are up between 700% and 5,000%. Most recent one went from a nickel to 250, and we've had a bunch of 10 baggers. So we're going to find out if Nass Valley is going to be that next 10 bagger or more. So Michael, well, that's the main thing we're going to focus on today. Is what's the path for Nass Valley, for NVG to be that 10 bagger or 100 bagger or more. So again, everybody who's watching, please join in, ask your questions. And I mean, that's really part of the whole fun, is ask your questions to the CEO and then decide for yourself if NVG is going to be that 10x plus stock. So Michael, with that intro out of the way, what does Nass Valley do?
Nass Valley is a obviously publicly traded company on the CSE. We are a CBD Products distribution company. We are primarily in the U.S. markets, even though we're domiciled in Vancouver. We have currently about 30 products that we are just launching into the marketplace. And they are in the sleep remediation, pain remediation, general wellness categories. We also are in bath and beauty and pets. We were formed about 1.5 years, 2 years ago as a public entity. Obviously, COVID took a little bit of bite out of our progress, but we're incredibly excited, especially this quarter, for what we're going to be launching. And I think you'll see a lot of progress if you check out our websites, you check out our product matrix. We will be coming into the market strong.
So Michael, one of the reasons we have you on this platform is I think part of the story is that Nass Valley is really at this inflection point right now. So your products are about to hit the market. You have 30 SKUs. I think you mentioned before we got started that you're going to have something like 60, and you're in all these categories, whether the health and beauty, pets, even
right.
Smokables. I mean, you have behind you. I think we talk about the hemp cigarettes.
We have some of these products behind us here. Part of the reason for having that many SKUs is sort of a foundation to our go-to-market strategy. We did not want to go in just to, say, big box retailers. We wanted to have the opportunity to go into small businesses, small convenience stores, newsstands everywhere around the country. And we felt we just had a small lineup, which of say 10 to 12 products, that would really limit the opportunity for revenue for us. And so having the larger stable of products that was suggested to us by a couple of large distribution companies we're engaged with, I think is going to be a big differentiator for us, because we will be taking opportunities that other CBD companies just aren't prepared for.
Okay, so it's interesting because so a couple of things I want to get into. One is the big thing is what the people hear of CBD all day long, right? So what differentiates Nass Valley? I think that's
right.
One thing.
It's a very good question. Certainly, there's been a lot of players that have come out of the woodworks. I mean, CBD really barely existed only 10 years ago, so it's a very immature industry as such. And we've seen a lot of money get behind it. because of the huge opportunity and because of the the wellness aspects of the product. They really do have effects on people. People are buying them, and I don't see that stopping. Some of our differentiators are going to be the way we go to market.
That's what I want to get into. So the distribution channels that's part of what really separates you kind of from the pack.
Correct.
Like anybody can start a CBD company, right? But
sure.
How are they going to sell the product?
Well, selling the product is number one to revenue growth. So the way that we are approaching it is we are coming out with basically two major distribution sales channels. The first one being we're going after just distributors that are going to have access to up to 60,000 stores nationwide. This is a little bit different. People are generally going store to store or small chains. We're pretty deeply engaged with two different distribution companies that supply all these different retail outlets.
Okay.
And so we're not looking at what everybody else is going after, the big pharmacy stores, the big box stores. We do have opportunities there as well, but we feel there's an enormous opportunity being in the secondary market of retail. And the second way we're going to market is something that is proprietary to Nass Valley Gateway. It's called Nass Valley Direct. And Nass Valley Direct is a direct sales model that we have brought in experts in to create a sales platform that we can roll out to the entire country and accelerate our revenues much, much quicker than we could by hiring a sales force, hiring just manufacturers' reps. These will be people that are going to put our products into their stable of products they're selling already. And the unique element of it is we're really focusing on B2B. So we're going to have a on-the-ground sales force going to businesses all around the country. And what I touched on earlier was the opportunities. If we just had 8 CBD products or a dozen CBD products, that'd be fairly limiting. But since we're going to have 60, we can go to physical therapists, we can go to spas, we can go to obviously convenience stores, retail stores, health and wellness stores, and we feel that's going to be
even the pets. The pets is the crazy.
The pets is an enormous line. I mean, the projections for what the pet business is going to do, much less what it's doing today, is enormous. So we feel there's a big opportunity in pets alone.
Yeah. So the direct market. Okay. So the direct market, which essentially was like network marketing. It's like a multi-level marketing.
Network marketing. We call it direct sales because we're going to have boots on the ground going directly to businesses. And often, as you know, that if there's one store, there's usually another 2 or 3. It's not just a single proprietor. So we're looking for the multi-location owners, going after them, and we feel that there's great opportunity there.
Okay, and so the team so here's the interesting thing is the team you've brought in to run the network marketing channel. They've had success in this area, and essentially they kind of have a distribution network that essentially could start up. I mean they have this, I don't know, downlines or whatever. They have thousands of followers, so to speak, that will join them.
The two gentlemen that we brought in, Jeff Rogers and Troy Dooley, are experienced direct salespeople. They've been involved in sales, CBD company, still in existence. Jeff was a founder of that. Troy worked with them as well as a consultant. Troy also worked at Isodial, which is an extremely successful direct sales company. So these guys not only know all about it, they've done it. They've been successful in it. They know the model. They know the downsides of it. In direct sales, there's a sort of a stigma against it because a lot of people get involved in it and fall off because they don't have success. There's a common mistake that people grow too fast. We're going to try to keep it very tight, a small group. People sometimes get involved in a direct sales organization that's hundreds of thousands of salespeople. We don't need that. We only need a few thousand to be extremely successful in that sales channel.
Okay. I think, before, I think it was yesterday we were talking before the interview, I think you said that you were going to have 5,000 of these reps pretty much out of the gate, or like
not quite out of the gate, but that's our 12-month target.
Okay.
And that is really a number that we would be very happy to have going forward. Obviously, if that was 5,000 people, we could retain them and they were producing. It doesn't take a very large number of average sale per associate to really generate large numbers. So that's a very good number for us. We think we can get there within 12 months, and it'll be a substantial part of our revenue going forward.
Okay, so if you have 5,000 reps, I mean, I don't usually it's the 20%. That's what is it? The rule of 20%. So you're gonna probably have 20% that are going to be very, very. So
there's a constant attrition. We're going to try to limit that by rolling out this model with Jeff and Troy. They're completely the industry experts, and retention is always on everybody's top of mind in a direct sales environment. So we're going to do everything to support these associates. We're going to train them. We're going to show them how to be successful, and we're going to show them how to grow, their businesses. We really want these people not just to think that they're going out and selling one or two people and being okay with that, being satisfied with that. We want to inspire them to grow their own business, and so they can be financially successful.
What I love about the model, that business model of this network marketing direct, whatever you want to call it, is that it can grow, it grows. I mean, it just the revenues can just explode. I mean, these businesses, it's just because it essentially goes viral. I mean, it's
true. There is an exponential effect that we want to keep a cap on, because we don't think it's good just to have numbers. We want to have individuals that are, going to be going out and growing their numbers month by month by month, being satisfied with the great commission schedule that Jeff has come up with us, and being compensating accordingly and growing with us through the company. We're even trying to figure out a compliant way of giving them ownership in Nass Valley Gateway as an incentive to stay with us, and that's also a new model.
Okay. By the way, one of the things I like personally, because I look at things from the stock standpoint, is the companies that are in the kind of network marketing space. Part of the benefit of having that mass audience, that kind of network of you have these people involved, is that also spreads the word about the stocks. That creates another wave of buyers for stocks, which I think is a positive thing from that aspect. Before we get into all the details of the quality, the products, right. I've tried actually with the hemp cigarettes. I've tried it about a month ago, late January.
Yeah.
I got, and it was like, well, this is actually pretty. It's like it was. I don't smoke cigarettes. I'm a cigar guy, but I smoked it, and it was like, I tell you, it was like kind of relaxing. It smelled like
a lot of people they get a very very mild calming effect from the cannabinoids in the hemp cigarette, and this is all hemp derived. There's no little to no THC, so it's very relatively healthy compared to tar nicotine cigarettes. We feel there's a huge marketplace out there for the hemp cigarette smoker. There's a number of other products out there, and I think the way that we are going out to market with the hemp cigarettes is different, and it's on a national scale, and it's primarily through what I mentioned before, was the distribution channels that we're engaged in.
Yeah. So I guess the main question is, and this is the key part that I think most of our audience is interested in, is how fast can you get to let's call it 50 million revenues? Like, I think at that, if you can get to that number, I mean, then, the stock could be a 10 bagger. I mean, assuming you get to that number, quickly, right. Not in 10 years, but the next 18 months or so.
If you take a look at the models that I just talked about briefly, if you take a look at just the distribution companies to retail stores, all right, say, we're engaged in two negotiations right now that are going to cover, tens of thousands of stores nationwide. To make a very, quick mathematical analogy, if you can get 60,000 stores selling $800, only $800 of your product a year, that's $50 million in sales.
$800 a year. That's not a lot. That's not a lot.
That's not a lot. That's about a dozen products. Okay, so we're only doing that. We feel like we're not being successful, to tell you the truth. So we think there's an enormous opportunity in that distribution company sales channel. And we think that is the tip of the iceberg. Now, are we focused just on that? No, we have, basically 4 major sales channels that we're looking at. Certainly Nass Valley Direct is the direct sales channels is going to be, we think will deliver 17 million in the first year. We have the distribution channel, and we're not going to ignore the big box store and big pharmacy channels at all. We have a couple of relationships there that we're working on hard. And obviously e-commerce, e-commerce, there is a place for it. We feel it's a little saturated right now, so we're not going to go full in on it, but we're certainly going to have a presence on all the major platforms, and we're going to drive traffic through, via social media and other e-commerce tactics.
Okay, no, it's interesting because I think, right, the e-commerce thing, it is kind of saturated, and especially if you could do direct marketing, it makes it, part of the thing. I think what's involved is educating the consumer about what differentiates, Nass Valley, CBD
right.
versus, generic whatever is out there, this, and I think that's part of that. This is a big deal because people hear CBD all day long, so it's if you could educate.
Well, it's about reaching the consumer with a breadth of our offering. All right, so it's not just 1 or 2 products they could buy from us. They could buy, they could buy up to 60. However, we think there's a number of products that if we can get a large number of our consumers into our product matrix and buying 5 or 6 products a month, because we have bath bombs and soaps and lots in the beauty area, facial cream, anti-aging. It's not just CBD tinctures and gummies for general wellness. There's pain management. There is sleep as well, which are 2 enormous categories. So it's about messaging to the consumers that we have a full offering for you, and also not secondary, but primarily where you can access those products.
Okay, so we got an audience question here. Andrew is asking, what do you believe an average rep can sell that in a direct sales channel, the multi-level guys?
We have a very conservative number that we put up just as a projection, that if a sales rep could sell only 7,500 gross annually, that 5,000 number is going to roughly equate to about 17, 18 million in revenue. So we feel there's going to be people that can sell 200,000 and 300,000 easily. So we're being extremely conservative with our projections.
Okay. Well, actually, no. So 5,000. Okay. So yeah. So actually, if you had 5,000 guys, if they sold 7,500, that would be 35 million, no? Plus.
Right, but to the company we have a commission, so it's gross profit. Right.
Okay.
Gross profit to the company, because the commission schedule is very generous, and we want it to be that way because we want to incent our people to sell. And that's another mistake a lot of other companies of Jeff and Troy have told us about, firsthand experience, is that you really need to go to the wall for these people. They realize that, they believe in you because you're supporting them, not only with all the training and the constant schooling that they're going to get on how to build their business, but compensation is number 1 to them. So we're going to make sure that we max out on the commission schedule.
Okay, we got questions about the sales channels. Now you have, you're selling on Alibaba, I think, right?
We are selling on Alibaba. We just started, but we backed off when we redid our product menu, and we're going to come back out strong with Alibaba. We're also out with wholesalecentral.com, which is a wholesale platform. They sell to about 450,000 business owners a year, and we're the number 1 CBD brand on wholesalecentral.com.
Okay, so again, to get to that 50 million, how long do you think it would take to get to that number?
With, not looking at my crystal ball, but I believe that we will get to that number conservatively within a year, and possibly a couple months plus or minus, depending on a couple of the negotiations that we're doing right now.
Okay, so that's essentially the path. I mean, I would say again, that would really be the path to being a 10x stock. If you can go from here to 50 million revenues in, let's call it 12 months, even 18 months, I think the market would give you a little bit of a grace period. If you can get that type of velocity, that type of pace, you would get to that number. So I think that's basically the path. And if you exceeded it, the speed things, then obviously this would have even better results. Michael, can you talk a little bit about your background, kind of the team in Nass Valley? You mentioned the direct marketing guys. Give us the whole picture.
Came out of health and wellness marketing for a big agency in New York. I've worked in advertising and marketing for health and wellness products for over now 16 years. I was the CFO of Nass Valley Gateway since its inception, and before that, for a division of Nass Valley Gateway that currently is part of the company, a subsidiary. So I've been involved with this enterprise, these guys, the founders, for 5 years.
Okay. Question here. Bob is asking, do you have the capital you need to implement your marketing plans?
Yes, we have the capital to do that. And it's really also about inventory, because there's a huge inventory number attached to the POs that we're engaged in right now. And we're in a good position to execute on our plan capital-wise.
Okay, so I guess the idea is if you have this this bricks and mortar distribution channel, I guess in these convenience stores or mom and pop stores or whatever it is that have. So if you're talking about I think you mentioned 60,000 stores, right?
Well, there's 100,000 in the U.S. We're just engaged in 3 different groups that sell directly to over 60,000.
Okay, so this could be, so you do need to have some cash, for inventory, basically.
Indeed.
Okay, so it's Amway or Herbalife of CBD.
CBD products. Well, it's that's the goal. We want it to be very successful here, and then a very natural step for direct sales is overseas. So we see there are enormous markets overseas. It's very popular.
Ted is asking, will you be selling in Canada?
Yes, we will be. We will be selling in Canada shortly, and it's the easiest trade partner for the U.S. is to our north, and we'll be going in there probably in 6 months from now.
Okay, so 6 months you can be. Now we have a lot of Canadian people in our audience. If they want to try out the product, can they buy it on your site online? Can you ship it out to them?
We can ship out to them, yes.
Okay, fantastic. So, and they can go on the site, on Amazon, Alibaba. Where can they?
They go to Nass Valley Products.
Okay,
is one of the websites, and you can also go through NSVGF and just link to the product site.
Okay, Michael, in terms of the big picture, what do you see as the real upside here? How big can Nass Valley get? What if all goes well? Where do you see the company? Let's say 3 years from now. That's an eternity for most investors. Everybody has a week, but 3 years from now, what?
Obviously, it's hard to project that far out. But we do have a business. We have a 5-year business plan. We are generally conservative by nature, but we think that number, that $70 to $100 million number will be eclipsed shortly, and we believe if we execute on our plan, that indeed will be that number which you just said, that should be attainable.
Okay. Okay. So let's see. We got a couple more questions here. processing facilities. I guess the manufacturing facilities is what he was.
Yeah, we have a manufacturing partner right now. We're not, we're not aspiring to be. A lot of people are trying to do this. Is to be a fully integrated CBD enterprise. To us, that is a bridge too far. We have an excellent production partner that we fully trust and has been delivering, FDA-approved products for quite a while. We don't, we're not agronomists. We're not in the ag business. We don't see ourselves immediately in the short term anyway, going and buying farms and growing our own hemp, because there is an enormous amount of hemp being grown now compared to 5 years ago in the United States and in Canada and worldwide. So we feel that we're going to stick to our knitting, which is finding sales channels that aren't being heavily focused on by our competitors, and execute within those sales channels. And there's an enormous market out there for us to take advantage of.
Michael, in terms of from a pricing standpoint, or where are you kind of in that on that spectrum? Are you more of a premium product?
Ours is a premium product, but ours is not quite a premium price, and we feel that we don't want to be at that premium level because we think we lose out on a big chunk of the marketplace by doing so. There's plenty of margin in the pricing that we have sort of fallen into on an average product price. So we're very happy with that and comfortable not trying to shoot for the moon product by product. It's a volume business, and we want to attract as many buyers as possible and not scare buyers away.
Okay, so really, would you say? Is it essentially, are you like it's a mass market but high quality? Like, what are you, like the Lexus? What are you like? Are you the Toyota? The Lexus?
We're not trying to be top of market. We're not trying to be that boutique, super high-end premium brand. We are a premium brand. We're fully approved. We have only the finest organic, non-GMO, vegan ingredients. So we feel that we hit all the health and wellness requirements and exceed them, frankly, compared to the marketplace. And we are, we're really excited about our ability to transmit that feeling of trust and honesty and transparency to all of our consumers, because it's extremely important in the CBD world right now, because there are a lot of players out there that use sort of inferior products or not the best products, just because of how big it's become so quickly. And we are looking forward to a consolidation in the industry itself, and we think there might be opportunities there for acquisition as well, because it's just been the growth has been explosive.
Okay. Yeah, one of the guys at your company was telling me all about like the details about the high quality, like all the details about it, what makes your CBD different than what else is on the market. And there's a lot of this stuff that's on the market is basically saying it was like inferior. It was like a lot of inferior products in the market, so it's not effective essentially.
Right.
CBD right. is effective, but if you have like I guess the wrong or the diluted, it's just.
Oh, exactly. People. There's something that we're extremely concerned about is truth in labeling, and this is just a requirement for the FDA too. Your ingredients have to be in your ingredients. We're third-party tested, so every single consumer can go a couple of different ways. Go online and get the third-party independent lab reports about every one of our products, and also there's a QR code on each package that they can take a shot with. And get all the ingredients directly on their phone.
Well, so we got I guess a comment here. More premium product without the premium price will produce more buyers. But my question is, okay, so you're at
exactly our point. So we don't necessarily want to be the discounted product. However, we think there's a nice middle space there where we can go and have a much larger market, have a much bigger chance of being driving that high volume, because high volume is gonna drive high revenues, and top line revenues where it is.
Okay, so you were the CFO, so you understand them. So what kind of margins would you have? Again, you're doing a premium product. Obviously, it costs more to produce. What kind of margins do you expect?
Well, we want to have a net net margin to us and EBITDA to us in the 30% range, which, our gross margins are obviously higher, but cost of goods is more expensive for us because we use, quality ingredients, and they just cost more. The more volume you do, those prices will drop, and that's what we're looking forward to.
Okay, we got a question. Are you growing your own hemp?
No, we do not grow our own hemp. As I said earlier, that our supply chain comes from product manufacturers, not that we own the product manufacturer, and we certainly do not own our own hemp fields, nor will we in the short term. We feel they're experts at growing things, experts at producing them. Our sweet spot is finding the sales channels to sell the end product in, and that's what we're sticking to for now.
Okay, I was asking, I guess, do you have long-term contracts with your suppliers and manufacturers?
They're annual contracts that we have with them, and we're comfortable with that because going out too far on that is a little bit scary, depending on how our volumes increase, and we expect them to increase exponentially. But we're fully covered. We have different options in the marketplace to backfill any volume that our primary or secondary supplier could not.
Okay,
it's a good problem to have. It'd be a very good problem to have. We welcome that problem.
Okay, so Andrew he's making a comment here. If you get to 70 to 100 million, that it would be a 20 bagger. Which, yeah, if you get to that 70 to 100 million, it depends how fast you can get. So if you can get to that run rate, I would say in 18 months, you would definitely be there. I don't know if is that a little aggressive. 70 million, 18 months. Is that a little bit too aggressive, or?
In 18 months, it's aggressive, but that's the business we're in. We are trying to be aggressive, and that's part of our model. We don't want to, fight with everybody in the normal sales channels. That's why we're going to Nass Valley Direct, because we think we can have 5,000 plus people that are selling our products actively to B2B and B2C in a very short period of time, within 7 or 8 months. So that's why we think these numbers are doable. Our business plan is a little bit more conservative than that, just because we want to be extremely conservative and we want to outperform wherever we can. But it's also about how the market rewards you. As well as all of us, just because you do a lot of top line revenue, if your margins aren't in place, if your cost of goods aren't in place, if your operational costs are out of control, you're not going to get the market reward you're looking for. So we've been very tight so far with our operations and our preservation of capital. It's part of the reason we didn't come out strong, at the high point in the COVID environment. We just wanted to, keep our risk capital dry and wait until we had a little visibility, which we do certainly now, that the economy's coming back stronger, that people's discretionary income is going to be stronger, employment numbers are stronger, and that's why we think it's a fantastic time to come out now.
Okay, so I think I'm trying to understand, like, what I want to figure out here is what is going to be the catalyst what's going to be the thing that's going to really move the needle on the revenue side, quickly. Like, we need, basically, in order for the stock to really gain momentum. I'm looking purely from the stock standpoint, not the. Right.
Well, I think, Jack, with every company, it's the same issue.
Yeah.
When you're coming out, what your number one goal is, sure, you can have the most beautiful car in the world. If it's sitting on the lot and nobody sees it, you're not going to sell that car. So I think one of our advantages is getting our products out into the national marketplace, getting them into people's hands, work them into these very, very large distribution sales channels to get the exposure, having the good point of sale materials, having good marketing, having good social media presence, getting Nass Valley to be a national, household name in the CBD industry. That's our goal. We're not here to be a minor player. We're here to be a national dominant player.
Okay, so I think what investors are going to be probably watching is kind of the catalyst. So in other words, like, once you start announcing these contracts for this national distribution, which can get you into 10,000 stores, 20,000 stores, whatever it is, the market's going to pay attention to that. That's number one. I think that's going to be the first catalyst to move the stock. But then after that, within a few months, people are going to expect to see, revenues come in through those relationships. So if
right. Well, that's part of the reason that we go through this model, because in a distribution model, if you can get that negotiated contract, you get paid on the contract for product shipped to the distributor, not what is sold in the store. So it's a very different model. So there's immediate, revenue on the board. And I know the public wants to see that. Every investor wants to see that. We want to see that. And also with Nass Valley Direct, we're going to have product in the hands of hundreds of thousands of people in a matter of a few months. We're going to have we have people that have already pre-signed that want to sell our product for us. So there's waiting for the product to get out to them, get the model out to them. We're already recruiting for Nass Valley Direct. We think that's going to be a huge differentiator and obviously a revenue driver for Nass Valley.
I think we talked before about maybe having Jeff, that's the guy running
Jeff Rogers.
Have him on maybe in a couple of weeks so he can really explain, because I think it would be important, because that is going to be one of the big revenue drivers, and that's also something where you can get pretty much almost immediately that once because this guy brings in this massive network of followers that he has essentially.
And it's not just he has a network of followers. He has the tools and the experience of converting people to being an associate, to be a direct sales associate for the organizations he's been with. So it's not just about he has connections in the world, the existing world. He has the tools and the experience to convert people to come join us and be very active associates. So I think that's just as powerful as having a network within the business. Is how you're going to maintain that network, and how are you going to grow that network going forward.
Okay, and so basically you can get, but the idea is that he could pretty much those two guys can essentially get 5,000 reps into the system within a matter of months, really.
Yeah, it's going to be an enterprise effort. It's not just going to be, we're not putting that on those two guys, but if we,
I'm simplifying it. I'm sure it's not just two people in a room.
Of course, but you're right. They're the experts. We brought them in as such, and we're really excited about our the meetings that we're having with them, the ideas that they're bringing forth. They're coming from a very different place than the standard model. And that I think is going to be very exciting for Nass Valley and its followers.
Okay, Michael. So let's kind of wrap up here in terms of news flow. Our audience, investors in the microcap world, they love news flow. They want to see news, on a daily basis, ideally, but if not daily, once a week, 10 days.
Everybody does. It's not actually how it happens in reality. Is great things don't happen every day. We're challenged every day, but we have, I think, like any growing company, we're going to have some fantastic news coming out in the short term. And we're a public company, so we have to be very disciplined about what we put out, what we talk about. Everything has to come out to public first, and we, it's part of our corporate governance. We need to pay, close attention to that. But I'm very confident. I wouldn't be talking to you today if I didn't think there were some good things that are going to come out in the future about Nass Valley Gateway and its products, and hopefully some good news about growing revenue streams, because that's really our number one goal right now.
Okay, Michael, let's wrap up. The favorite question we ask every CEO on our program is, in your opinion, what would you say the top 3 reasons today why investors, should consider Nass Valley stock?
Well, I would say the number one reason to invest in us is the experienced team that we have. We have experienced CBD and health and marketing executives and board members involved in our company. This isn't a bunch of generalists coming to sell product to the public. These are people that are specific to the sales channels that we're offering, specific to product design, specific to launching CBD products in the marketplace in various sales channels. So I think team is a huge reason that Nass Valley will be successful. I think what you were talking about earlier about the inflection point, we're certainly at an inflection point of fantastic time and the evolution of Nass Valley from having products to going to market with our products. And that's the time you want to get involved on the ground floor with any company, in my opinion. And 3, because of our unique sales channels. I think Nass Valley Direct is going to be an enormous driver. I very much hope that we've understated the potential of it. I think the ceiling is very high for Nass Valley Direct, as do I for the distribution channel. Those two alone, even without going to big box, and even without going to big pharmacy, and even without e-commerce, we could have an extremely successful business and plan to.
Okay. Okay, Michael, on that note, I want to thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and we'll see you on the next live stream.
Terrific. Thanks, Jack. Thanks for having me.